Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to SUTV News. I'm Hannah Clove.
And I'm Ben Polish. Students from SUU organized a women's protest on Wednesday. The students protested anti-DEI laws and budget cuts to college programs. Protesters were seen holding homemade signs with phrases like, "Stop the budget cuts," and "We deserve better." Many of the protests spoke about their experiences as LGBTQ+ individuals and worry for their future without DEI laws. Although it was a peaceful protest, many of the students were angry and are hoping for a response.
Who's finished production on their next edition of the University Journal. The edition, titled P.S. I Love SUU, is a Valentine's-themed journal that is set to hit stands next week. The journal is edited by print editor-in-chief Heather Turner, who has been working with graphic designer Ben Sagers to bring reporters' articles to life. After finalizing all edits, Turner sent the journal to printers on Monday. Students can pick up their copies as soon as they arrive. Now, the staff at SUTVNews is hard at work on their next edition of the journal.
Stay tuned to hear about recent SUU events like Pizza and Politics put on by the Levitt Center.
This is SUTV, and we will be right back after the break.
In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know, from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now, that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Last week, the Levitt Center at SUU hosted its Pizza and Politics event, featuring presenters Kelty Luttrell and Sebastian Zuniga, who discussed the topic of sovereign nations in America. Students were encouraged to participate in engaging discussions, with a variety of questions provided to spark the conversation. After the presentation, students enjoyed free pizza and had opportunity to network and interact with one another. The Levitt Center regularly hosts events like this, creating a welcoming environment where students can explore political issues and learn about the world around them. Tonight, the center will hold Puzzles and Politics from 7 to 8 p.m., featuring puzzle activities alongside a political presentation. Pizza and Politics meets every Wednesday from 12 to 1 at the Levitt Center, with the next session taking place on February 19th to discuss education policy. For more information, follow them on Instagram at SUU Levitt Center.
Special Olympics Utah is a nonprofit organization that raises money to provide sporting opportunities for disabled people. Here is Madison Holland with details about Special Olympics Utah Polar Plunge.
The Polar Plunge is one of the biggest fundraisers that Special Olympics Utah does for their athletes. They travel all over the state to hold a plunge everyone can participate in. Companies and people sign up to raise money for the organization, and they jump or run into cold water.
The Polar Plunge is just a tremendous fundraiser for Special Olympics Utah, and outside of that, it's an outreach event that allows Special Olympics to share what's going on with the organization and share the mission and the work that the organization does.
Anyone can plunge, and if you do, you get a shirt that is specialized for that plunge year. So you can always remember freezing for a reason.
We had over 60 jumpers today. So huge turnout. We loved it. We loved everything about it.
With the Cedar City Polar Plunge being over, there are plenty of ways to get involved with Special Olympics. Reach out to them on social media at Special Olympics Utah. For SUTV, I'm Madison Holland.
Government, so she's just been wondering, like, what do I talk about? So it's awesome how timely these events are that they present.
Yeah, especially us being here at the school, education policy is very relevant.
It is very relevant with all these budget cuts. Is FAFSA even a thing? Do I need to fill it out? Coming up, we will let you know how to plan for the weather in the days ahead.
Stick around. We'll be right after the break.
Someone had fun today. Hey, sweetheart, everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. How's our little guy?
Now I lay me down to sleep.
Looks like I'm stuck working late tonight. Probably won't be home until closer to 8.
Oh, that's okay. I've got a laundry list of emails to send out.
I pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Yeah, you did great. We had so much fun today.
If I die before I wake.
Oh, hey, bud.
Oh.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
It's a school night. With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
Not sure about those two. I've been meaning to ask you. This is tougher than I thought. Is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
I hope not, because alcohol can lead you to say things and do things that you really wish you hadn't. Isn't this what you're supposed to say?
I know.
So if any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you.
Ryan.
Yeah?
So start the conversation even before they're teenagers.
Good idea.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Hope you're having a great Tuesday. I'm Caitlin Cowart with the weather. This last week, southern Utah finally got some snow and skiers are loving it. On Saturday, Bryan Head Ski Resort was packed with skiers and snowboarders alike, finally enjoying the sport for honestly the first time this year. Hundreds of California residents flooded the resort in light of the recent holiday. The snow conditions are decent for this time of year, and the weather yielded warm temperatures with lots of wind. Hopefully with luck, more storms will be on their way. Last week I said expect a mix of rain and snow. Well, I lied. Here are some images from the north last week. The rest of the state got multiple inches of snow. Here in Cedar City, stayed nice and dry. Don't expect any snow for the near future. Let's take a look at the forecast. Today's partly sunny with a high of 45 and a low of 21. You can expect a high of 51 and 29 tomorrow. Expect some more warm weather throughout the end of the week with highs up to 64 degrees next Monday. It may only be February, but we'll be celebrating what will certainly feel like springtime. Let's take a look at the radar for the week. You can see that those storms from last week are gone, and we're back to the usual clear radar. Today's song of the day is All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, certainly a highlight of the Super Bowl halftime show from last week. That's all I got for you. I'm Caitlin Cowart. Be safe and have a great week, T-Birds.
Thanks, Caitlin. After the break, stay tuned to hear about SUU's basketball teams and national hockey.
We'll see you soon.
Hey, I'm Mike Rope, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Micro, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small
And not that bright. Here, for instance, we can see Micro.
Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
Big or small, life is a collection of defining moments. And at Southern Utah University, these moments happen all the time. This is where you find your people, where new friends become like family, where you face challenges with confidence, knowing you have a supportive community cheering you on. These moments are more than just memories. They define who you are and who you will become. This is where you soar. See your future at suu.edu.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hi, I'm Caitlin Cowart with your favorite part of the day. It's time for SUTV Sports. This past Saturday, Canadian fans booed the U.S. national anthem before their Four Nations hockey game. The booing lasted the entire song. Once the game started, 3 fights started in the first 9 seconds. Moving past the player-on-player altercations, the U.S. won 3-1 in the biggest margin against Canada we've had. Since 2018, sports betting has increased from 1 state to 38 states. Corresponding with that statistic, gambling addictions have also increased dramatically in that period. The allowance of sports books by the Supreme Court has also led rise to many online betting companies such as BetterMGM, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Many agree that laws need to be put in place to curb the rise of addiction, but others argue that it would infringe on their freedoms. SU men's basketball won against Utah Tech 76-74 on February 13th. On February 15th, they fell short when they played against Utah Valley 68-70. Their last game is February 20th at Abilene Christian University. The tip-off is at 6 p.m. and will be live streamed on ESPN+. SU women's basketball is home this week. They played February 19th against Abilene Christian in the AFEC at 6:30 p.m. This game is military appreciation and beach night. Once again, I'm Caitlin Cowart. Thanks for tuning in to SUTV Sports. Back to Ben and Hannah.
Thanks, Caitlin. Coming up next, we'll discuss campus activities at Southern Utah University and the local farmers market.
We'll return in a minute.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
SU campus is full of diversity, with many students being a part of the International Student Association. Every week on campus, there are events to introduce you to students and cultures from all around the world. One example is the celebration of the Lunar New Year. Students got together to celebrate the Chinese and Korean New Years in the Student Center, finding it filled with friends, food, and fun decorations. Whether reading their fortune in cookies or trying out new types of candy, everyone had a good time learning how to celebrate the New Year. Clubs put on events for many different reasons, but they're always a load of fun. Last week, the Latine Student Alliance put together a Valentine's dance mix and mingle. Students gathered in the ballroom to learn dances, take photos, and of course, have some delicious food. Keep an eye out for more events like these from the International Student Association.
Every Saturday, Festival City's Farmers Market brings together a vibrant mix of small businesses here in Cedar City. Local vendors and artisans showcase a variety of crafts, food, art, and more. The market offers something for everyone, whether you're looking for homemade jewelry, fresh groceries, or unique decorations. It's the perfect way to support our local community while finding one-of-a-kind items. It runs every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. during the winter months and is located at 100 West Center Street in Cedar City, Utah. The market loves to feature local musicians each week, providing entertainment for the community while highlighting the talents of small artists. Josh Brown, one of the market workers, gave us a closer look at what makes the weekly event such a special part of our community.
Festival City's Farmers Market is a farmers market. We try and bring out as many farmer vendors that we can. We obviously have a lot of vendors. We have artisans, we have folks who are selling salsa. We have all sorts of things that are available. But this is where you can get food and you can get items that you can't get anywhere else. That's the benefit of the farmers market.
In other news, one of our journalists has an inside look on upcoming international programs SUU students are preparing for.
During SUU's spring break in March, and then later after graduation in May, SUU students are looking forward to participating in short-term study abroad programs in various countries around the world. Students have the opportunity to experience new cultures, eat new foods, and learn new skills through a hands-on curriculum. Teachers are recruited to manage the trips and organize the students. One of these professors is Hayden Coombs.
There's just so much to be gained by experiencing other cultures and visiting other countries. You don't really know what it's like anyplace else if you've never been anywhere else, right? And it's one thing to travel like city to city, that you can see huge differences in the culture and the way people live, but it is like truly mind-blowing to go visit some of these other places of the country, the world.
Countries vary everywhere from England to China to Fiji, learning everything from anthropology to nutrition. Each group will visit various learning sites as well as tourist attractions, seeking to gain a real understanding of the culture and the subject.
You know, this is a really cool way that SCU is able to help students kind of gain wisdom and knowledge outside of the classroom, outside of their curriculum and everything. So absolutely totally worth it. Something that I highly recommend to all students.
Though the window to sign up for the trips has already closed, there are still plenty of opportunities to get involved with similar activities through the SUU Study Abroad offices. This is SUTV. I'm Caden Wigman.
I love the farmers market we have here in Cedar City. It's so awesome. It's open year round. Tell me about the spoon ring you bought there a couple weeks ago or months ago.
Yeah, it was. It's in the first semester, but I went and bought a spoon ring from one of the vendors, and I got to see them how they make them right there out of silver spoons and other silverware. Even I think they do forks.
Yeah.
Tell me about the jewelry you bought.
I bought a super cute charm bracelet. So my sister was in town for my birthday and we bought matching charm bracelets, and it's so cute. You get to pick out your little charms. I love the jewelry there. It's so fun. And the groceries there, it's always so fun to see the fresh produce.
Yeah, it's stuff you can't get at Walmart, you know.
Yeah. We'll be back with news about Cedar City's local drag scene and some new classes offered here at SUU.
Right here on SUTV.
In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Cedar City is home to artists of all sorts, and today we're highlighting those who helped to create our local drag scene. The Johnson Center for Community Art and Education hosts a monthly drag show where all sorts of performers aim to demonstrate drag as an art form. For last month's theme, Coconut Slaycation, artists dressed in a variety of outfits from formal gowns to the Little Mermaid and showed off their makeup skills, creating unique looks for each piece. While most were solo acts, there were a couple of duo performers that kept things fresh and engaging. The artists love what they do and can often get a little carried away, dropping prop towels or glasses during their performances. This month, they had another performance with the theme being Love, Drag, and Robots. Shows promise to be loads of fun, but don't worry if you've missed this one, they'll be back in March. Tickets are $5 at the door, and they tend to fill every seat, so be sure to show up early.
Students living in on-campus housing have the opportunity to participate in lots of fun activities. Once a month, resident assistants put on a week of activities of all different kinds, ranging from self-care to relay games. This particular event was for honors students to unwind with face masks, pizza, and even get some much-needed UV rays during the winter. If you live on campus or
with the environment and each other in the face of climate change. Featuring never-before-seen installations, Salt Lines showcases global perspectives on the connection between salt and the human body. The exhibit runs through March 8th, with a special artist talk on March 6th, highlighting environmental issues in Utah.
So we have multimedia, installation, audio, poetry, and we have photography of the Great Salt Lake featuring David Mizell, a California-based aerial photographer, kind of renowned aerial photographer, and Alexandra Fuller, who is a Salt Lake-based photographer who made these beautiful salt prints using the salt of the Great Salt Lake. So
if you're interested in art or science, SUMA's Salt Lines is a must-see.
SUU is offering a new class called Environmental Drawing. The class, taught by adjunct professor Kaylin Fernandez, emphasizes drawing the interiors and exteriors of environments. Students will use linear perspective to draw three-dimensional scenes. Special topic courses such as environmental drawing are not offered every semester, but appear when needed to bridge gaps in majors. Special topic courses are offered in every department, so make sure to look at what is offered in your major as we near fall registration.
Many students have used the podcast studio on campus to create shows such as Talk Nerdy to Me or Sugar and Spice, and now a new show is in the works. Many Moons to Go is a fictional horror podcast currently in development here on campus. It is produced entirely by students, from the writing to the voice acting and creation of the music. The first episode was recorded this past weekend.
I've really enjoyed getting to explore voice acting because I do a lot of theatrical acting, and I would like to be open to as many job opportunities as possible, so getting some voice acting under my belt has been very useful.
The story follows two college kids and their broadcast here in Cedar as the world ends around them. The first teaser trailer comes out this week, and the show will begin airing on March 20th.
So we kind of joked beforehand about doing a cooking show, but you had an idea for a cooking podcast. Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, so I've had the idea of starting a cooking podcast where we just talk about different topics while we cook a new dish each week, and maybe have the comments decide what we cook week by week.
That sounds awesome. Would you do savory or sweets?
I mean, baking and cooking, it's kind of the same thing in terms of in the podcast world. So we could do desserts, we could do dinners, whatever you want.
Invite me on for one of the dessert nights. I love cooking desserts. I made a chocolate tiramisu a couple months ago, and it was so good. I've been thinking about it constantly. I think I need to get my baking equipment back out. You're a big cook then?
I mean, I do have a job as a cook, but I wouldn't say it's my main passion. I'm not very good. I hope to learn a lot actually through doing this podcast.
That would be awesome. And and you work as a cook right now, so this is perfect for you. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed the show. To you SU students out there, good luck with your studies this week.
Have a safe and fun winter season. Thanks for tuning in to SUTV. I'm Ben Polish.
And I'm Hannah Clove. With our remaining minutes, we'll be showcasing talented climbers on the rocks of Cougar Cliffs in St. George, shot by one of our photojournalists, Brooklyn Beard.
Mm-hmm.